let's talk about the basics of how to hold your bass. First of all, you have to decide if you're going to be a standing bass player or a sitting bass player. There's a lot of debate as to which is better, and the answer is really that neither of them is. But there are some pros and cons to consider when you're making your decision. Once you've decided, let's take a step-by-step look at each of those options. First of all, whether you're standing or you're sitting, it's important to put your bass at the correct height. You'll need to do this by adjusting the end pin. If you have an end pin with no grooves on it, make sure to tighten it extra tight because they tend to slide around. The way that you can tell your bass is at the correct height, whether you're standing or you're sitting, is by putting your hand in first position, looking to your left, and seeing if your first finger is at the level of your eye. Now let's talk about some of the specifics of standing and sitting. When you play the bass standing up, you want the back corner of the bass to touch your stomach just a couple of inches to the left of your belly button. When you do this, this allows the bass to lean into you. You can let it go and it should stand on its own just for a second or two. What you want to be careful not to do under any circumstances is to stand with your stomach flat against the side of the bass. This is very tempting for bass players because it allows you to be able to let go of the bass and it will lean solidly against you. The problem with this is that if you try to play on the E string, your bow will be running into your leg. So make sure to keep the bass positioned with the back corner against your stomach, not with your stomach against the side. If you're sitting, the position will be similar, but just slightly varied. In this case, you want the back corner of the bass to touch slightly to the right of your belly button. The bass will be slightly more centered in front of you than it is when you're standing. For your actual sitting position, I personally like to have a stool that's low enough that I can put my right foot on the ground while my left foot is raised on the stool. However, if your stool is taller, it is also perfectly fine to put both of your legs on the stool. The position of your left arm is also important to pay attention to when you're holding your bass. You want your arm to be at about a 45-degree angle. You don't want to be resting your elbow on the bass, tempting as that may be, but you also don't want your arm out at a 90-degree angle like you would if you were playing the cello. It's a much more relaxed position. And that's it. Now you know how to correctly hold a bass.